We live in a time where human and jinn shayateen are around us all the time. And they're trying very hard to lead us astray and away from deen. We need to know exactly how he does it. Because he's so clever that we cannot understand how, without our knowledge, we think we are doing a good thing, but actually he is getting you to do something really bad, making it sound like it is really good for you. And you will hear about it, inshallah. And I will probably continue this the next week as well if I can't finish it today. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم اسمنا من الشيطان الرجيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله أجمعين برحمتك. So I would recite two verses from Quran, Surah Baqarah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الناس كلوا مما في الأرض حلالا طيبا ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين إنما يأمركم بالسوء والفحشاء وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم واشكروا لله إن كنتم إياه تعبدون إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل به لغير الله فمن اضطر غير باغ ولا عاد فلا إثم عليه إن الله غفور رحيم صدق الله العظيم. Quick translations. O you who believed, O mankind, eat of what is lawful and pure in the earth, and do not follow Shaitan's footsteps. Indeed, he is your clear enemy. He only prompts you to commit evil and indecent acts, and that you attribute to Allah what you do not know. And O believers, eat from the good things which we have provided for you, and be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if it is indeed Him that you worship. He has only forbidden you dead animals, blood, flesh of swine, and that which has been dedicated to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But whoever is forced by necessity, neither desiring it nor transgressing its limit, there is no sin upon them. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forgiving and merciful. Okay, let's look at the details of it. Eat of what is lawful and pure in the earth. Pure in the earth, what does that mean? It means basically permitted, halal, and clean food. As is evident in these verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made very clear which animals can be consumed and what conditions have to be met. For the rest of all we eat, Allah has just gave us one simple principle. Eat from every good and clean produces of the earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created and provided for us on this earth everything. It is for our consumption. It is for our consumption and the consumption of other creatures that need survival and they need food. We are allowed to eat everything that is clean, that means not harmful in any way to us, and Allah has permitted it. As for the meat, Most people may not know that the criteria is not just for the chicken or beef or the pork. While pork and pork products are absolutely haram, besides chicken and beef, all livestock, that is, grazing animals like deer, antelope, elk, etc., are all halal for so long as they are lawfully hunted and slaughtered. Also, all birds are also halal, with some exceptions. On the other hand, all predatory animals and birds, such as lions, tigers, falcons, and hawk, are forbidden. Similarly, insects and reptiles are also forbidden. These are all clear. On the other hand, horses, donkeys, and mules, there is some different of opinions about eating them because horses and donkeys and mules are mostly used for transportation. They are meant to be ate as food. So therefore, most of the scholars say don't eat horses, the meat of horses, mules, and donkeys. But camels, on the other hand, are halal because traditionally camels were used not only for transportation, but they were also used for meat. So it was traditionally a food item as well as transportation. So camels are halal. All the creatures of waters, there are many controversial opinions about which one are halal and which one are not. The verse in the Quran mentions simply that the fish, the food that Allah created for you in the ocean, the water, is halal for you. It doesn't make any differentiation as to what is halal and what is not. It is afterwards that scholars, based on some hadiths, decided exactly which of the creatures of the ocean is halal. For some, only the kind of fish is halal. Besides fish, nothing is halal. Some others, they say everything in the ocean is halal. There's no restrictions. And there's difference of opinion. So some people, for example, would not eat shrimp or lobster or crabs. Some people would eat them. But because there's this difference of opinions, nobody would criticize the other person because there's a difference of opinion. So if you eat, eat. If you don't feel like eating, don't eat. Besides that, insects of all kinds are haram, with this one exception. Insects of all kind are not permissible except one condition, one, grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are halal to eat. The rest of the insects are not. All the grains, um, everything that in terms of vegetables, fruits that earth produces, herbs, roots, branches of the trees are all halal, except those which are known to be poisonous because that's not clean and tayyib anymore, that's harmful. That would be not permissible. And absolutely intoxicants of all kinds, alcohol, liquor, any mind altering drugs, smoking, vaping, not permissible. Now remember, a number of these things are not called haram. So people come and ask, is smoking haram? Well, no, smoking is not haram per se, but smoking is harmful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, anything that's harmful and clean, avoid it. So from that perspective, it is advisable not to do this. And obviously, anything that intoxicates you is absolutely not permissible. So this was all very clearly about the food, and I don't want to go into a lot of details about it. I just wanted to that part of the ayah to sort of clarify as to what we can eat and what we don't need to eat. One thing I want to do say though, Please remember, when a properly halal item is available, don't push it and say, oh, you can eat chicken from anywhere. People some have this idea that chicken from everywhere is halal. Only pork is not halal. So you can eat chicken. Some people would say, oh, beef is halal. You just say Bismillah and eat it. I would suggest, just to be on the safe side, don't go near the border or you might just cross it. If halal is available and readily available, and now it's not that expensive either, why not choose halal? In which there's no doubt. Because Allah's Prophet has commanded us to stay away from doubtful things. Because if you don't stay away from doubtful things, He's going to get you into haram as well. And I just wanted to clarify that. These days, the large businesses have found out that by not getting halal food, halal items, that they're losing out on their profits from a hugely growing Muslim population. So lots and lots of restaurants and fast food places have signs halal, halal, halal. And I understand that KFC is being halal as well now. Somebody told me about that. Yes, yes, sir. Allowed. It's not supposed to be eaten. So, but people ate KFC anyways. But now they are saying that the KFC is halal in Toronto and some places. You'll be surprised. About a week or two ago, CBC has a program that they go out and check on people, that they make Marketplace. I'm sure you've heard of Marketplace. Marketplace did a survey of all these halal restaurants and found out that more than 50% plus, they have the halal sign, but they're not halal. And they produce the sign. I'm sure, there are some easy ways to get the signs. And they put the signs on and they say, here's our certificate. So she said that we went and asked them, can we see the certificate? The certificate was not for that halal restaurant. It was for maybe a supplier of a chicken, but not the restaurant itself. But also some places have halal option and unhalal option. How are they going to keep it halal and haram so separate in the same kitchens? So please make sure that you make good choices, because the reason I'm saying it, especially for the kids to know as well, if we eat haram, then it's not just that we ate it, but our salat is not accepted for 40 days. And any meat, any flesh that would be generated from this haram meat is going to burn in the hellfire. These are all from the hadith. So, what is the message? The message is, please be careful. Now, when we go to different fast food places, we see Muslim brothers and sisters like McDonald's eating hamburgers and eating all kinds of things. And the last week I was sitting and having coffee at a McDonald's, and these two Muslim girls in their hijab were eating hamburgers. And I did not interrupt them, but when they finished, I said, sisters, do you know that this is not halal? I said, oh really? We didn't know that. That's why I'm saying you have to teach your kids and practice it yourself. What is not halal is not halal. When halal option is available that you can be certain about, why take any risk? And that's all I want to say about that part. Let's go on. And Allah says, and do not follow in Shaitan's steps. This I'm going to spend some time on because we need to understand it really good. In us humans, desires and lust exist together. In humans, desires and lust exist together. We are always after things that would satisfy our desires and our lusts. At the same time, Allah has blessed us with wisdom, anger, and intelligence to keep everything in balance. And Shaitan became our open enemy, continuously tries to push us and pull us from this balance of halal and haram. The main goal of his existence, the reason he has been given the permission to live, that he was going to be alive until this world ends, is to give him the opportunity to incite us to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and follow his footsteps like he did. This is why Allah warned us to be aware of our enemy and his self-declared animosity towards us and said, do not follow his footsteps. For example, Allah said in the Quran, يا بني آدم لا يفتننكم الشيطان كما أخرج أبويكم من الجنة ينزع منهما لباسهما ليريهما سوآتهما إنه يراكم هو وقبيله من حيث لا ترونهم. Children of Adam, let not Shaitan tempt you as he removed your parents from paradise, stripping them from their clothing to show them their private parts. Indeed, he sees you and his tribe from where you do not see them. Let me spend a few minutes on this verse. Very important. It has some very significant wisdom for us to learn. He started his job right from Adam alayhi salatu wasalam and his wife. Am I right? Shaitan started to take seriously his job right from the very first two human beings that were created. And one of the things, if you read about how he deceived Adam alayhi salatu wasalam and his wife in the Quran, if you read the story of it, he came to them sounding like he's their best friend. One important thing to always remember. He is not going to come to you sounding like he's your enemy. He's always going to come to us sounding like he's the best of our friends. He wants the best of us. And that's how he deceives us. So what did he tell Adam al-Salam and his wife? He said to them, aren't you enjoying this beautiful life in Jannah? Isn't it lots of fun? You have lots of freedom. You can go and come wherever you want. There's no restrictions. Isn't that enjoyable? Obviously, they were not going to be so nice and not enjoyable. See how he gets them? He gets them to agree with you on something first. I'm trying to understand you step by step how he gets to us. First of all, he comes to you as a friend, like he is your best wisher. And he gets you to agree to something that you cannot disagree. Once he does it, he got you. Once you say, and they said, we are truly enjoying it, this is lots of fun. Then he came to the point. And then he said, you know, I'm so sad. You won't be staying here forever. You'll be thrown out of here. What did he do? Now, he was exploiting their fear and their desire to keep it. They were enjoying it so much, he already knew that. He got them to agree to this, and he told them, I'm so sad, you're not going to be keeping this here. I'm your well-wisher. I can show you a way that you can enjoy this all the time. and become like angels. Why would Adam and Eve listen to him? When Allah had already warned them, why would they listen to him? Because, like I mentioned, we have in us coexisting desires and lust. We always want more of, especially what we like, we want more of. We all human beings are like this. You would find very few, especially blessed human beings now, who are content with what they got. If I look around you and I ask you, are you content with what Allah has given you, or you want more? Are our wives and children content with what we have, or do they want more? And I'm going to tell you, including myself, everybody wants more. Everybody wants more. Kids look at each other, kids looks at their cousins and their friends. My cousin has this, my friend has it, why can't I? And then they make you feel deprived, like you're depriving them of something good. And then parents given, fathers given, mothers given. So why are you not buying him this? Everybody has this. What's the poor guy? It's not fair. Shaitan goes to one of the parents. Shaitan goes to one of the parents and says to him, "Your poor child, your husband is so unfair. He has lots of money. He has lots of money. He's just depriving your child from this. Is that fair?" And he incites her to go to the husband and says, "Why can't my child has it? His cousin has it, so and so has it, so we have the money, you have the money. Why can't you buy this to him?" Makes them fight. He's happy. Now they got him going. And the kids are taking sides. Mom is so nice, dad is so mean. He goes to the kids and they says, "You see how mean your dad is? I feel so sorry for you. You have such a bad dad. You have such a bad mom. I feel so sorry for you. You should stand up to him. You should not take it from him." And he caused problem between parents and children. Wallahi, I see this all the time. This is why I want to spend time on this. We need to understand, how does he deceive us? It is not for no reason that Ibn Jawzi wrote this thick book on how he does it. Let's get more examples of it. Oh, before I finish, you see what he said? Allah said, "Children of Adam, let not Shaitan tempt you." Tempt you. He is always tempting you to have more. As he removed your parents from paradise, is stripping them of their clothing. Is stripping them of their clothing to show them their private parts. It's a very important wisdom to understand in that part of the verse. What that verse means is that, when Adam alayhi salatu salam and Hawa gave in to their desires and ended up eating from that tree, what is the first thing that happened? The dress of the paradise that they're wearing was stripped off. And that was the first time they saw their nakedness. They were not aware of their nakedness until that time. And right away, what did they say? What did they do? They took the fig leaves and started wrapping themselves around to hide their satr. When Shaitan comes to us, he gets us to do shameful things. Look at around. He has already done it. How many men and women are walking on the street apparently dressed but naked. Am I right or wrong? Apparently dressed and naked. And he's taking the clothes, making it less and less and less and less. Have you seen even Muslim girls have their top and they take one of the shoulder off? Have you seen it? Why? And he says, this is fashion. You have to keep up with the time. I would feel so sorry if you would not be accepted by your friends. Everybody's doing it. Not a big deal. You're a good girl. Don't wear the hijab. Like, so what's the big deal about it? His hair is hair. Not look, no. And he gets you to take off your clothing and do shameful things. You know what happens as a result? As a result, we lose haya. We lose haya. Haya is gone. And what does Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about haya? Haya is part of iman. If haya is gone, iman is gone. Look at how much shameful things are happening. Look at how much revolt there is, even amongst our own families, about the girls not wanting to wear hijab, the girls doing all kinds of makeup. And you say, look, this is very interesting. He goes to the girls who wear hijab and he says, you look so beautiful in that hijab. You know what? There's new fashion in this hijab. It's a big money making thing right now. Fashionable hijab. Am I right? More colorful, more attractive, fashionable hijabs. And when they put it on, they say, well, you have hijab on, the rest it doesn't matter. Like the only way, the only reason for the dictate is to just cover your hair. The rest you can wear whatever you want. You know the whole. He's so clever, wallahi. I feel so sad about this. He's so clever. He tells the girls, this is nothing wrong in wearing good clothes. This is Allah has made it for you. Allah said, who stops you from good things that Allah made for you? So it's okay for you to put the makeup. You're not putting it for somebody else. That's what he tells them. You're not putting it for somebody else. You're putting this makeup to make yourself feel good. See how he deceives you? He says to them, you're putting this makeup to make yourself good about yourself. It makes you feel good about yourself. I say, yeah, it does too. It really does. And they start putting all this makeup. And he got them. Because as soon as now they go out, who do they attract? Men. Which was the whole purpose of the rules about clothing, am I right? To not make yourself attractive to the other gender. Because once that attraction begins, he got you. This is why there are rules about men and women mixing together. Subhanallah, I was talking to a client just last week. And to make the long story short, I don't want to go into details. So he said, I question about this dictate in Islam about men and women mixing. I don't see exactly what is wrong with them. Like, I'm not stupid. I can control myself. I can do this. I can do that. I can be with the women, and it doesn't affect me. Who are you kidding? There is a natural attraction between men and women. If a man is in a company of a woman, or vice versa, And he or she said, it doesn't bother me. They're lying because they have to be either an angel or a robot. You can't change your fitrah. We cannot change our fitrah. We are going to be attracted towards the other gender. So, how has this become a problem? He has had a female friend since even before his marriage, long time ago. And he kept, without informing when he got married to his wife, he kept going on and on and on with it until finally the wife caught it. He is going out with her on trips, staying in the hotel together, all kinds of things. He says, I don't agree with this. There's nothing wrong with this. If it was men, it would not have made a difference. No, it would not. So, why can a man have a platonic relationship with a woman? Not possible. Not possible. These are valuable lessons that you should learn just from this one verse. And understand how he goes to deceive you. And look, he does not just stop at the Adam alayhi salam. Let's go down. He has two sons, Habil and Qabil. Am I right? Habil and Qabil, they both offered a sacrifice to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to decide who was going to marry the sister. You know, because in those days, if you don't know, Hawa alayhi salatu wasalam, when she was pregnant, she would deliver a boy and a girl. Always two kids, a boy and a girl. And because there were no other children, there were no other people, so the rule was that the boy and a girl born together would never be married to each other. But in the second pregnancy, the boy and girl, those can marry the first pair of the. So now, when Qabil was born, his sister was very pretty, or Habil, I don't remember which one. So Qabil, right? His sister was very, very pretty. And Habil's sister was not as pretty. So he wanted to marry his own sister because she was very pretty. And he could not. So he said, let's offer sacrifice to Allah and see whose sacrifice is acceptable. So Habil lost. And now, Qabil lost. So now he's mad. Shaitan immediately comes to him. Remember what I just said? Desire and lust coexist in us. Always remember that. We are not going to be free of lust. It is always going to be there in some form or the other. He lusted for his sister. And when he didn't get it, Shaitan came to him and says, that's not fair, is it? He just always comes to you sounding very friendly, well-wisher. That's not fair, is it? No, it's not. I don't like it. Well, you know what? You can just kill him. If you kill your brother, you can marry your sister. Wallahi lazim, remember brothers, a very intense desire, greed and lust will get you to do anything. Will get you to do anything. You will not be able to stop them. So what did he do? He killed his brother. Wallahi, look at all the stories of Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. Remember, what happened with the kids of Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam? They were all children of a prophet. Am I right? And they became jealous of one of their brothers because they thought that this brother was the favorite of our father, which was not fair. And our father is so naive that he doesn't understand that we are big and there to look after him. This little kid is not going to do much for him. He doesn't understand it. Shaitan comes to them and says, what? Kill him. If you can just kill him, then your father would have nobody but you guys. And he would really love you. And then he says, yeah, but how are we going to kill him? He says, no problem. Just take him out, kill him, and then kill a dog or a wolf and put some blood on him and say, oh, the wolf ate it. He shows them the way how to do it. He shows you the way how to do wrong things. If you don't know, no problem. He's there to be your teacher. He's going to tell you how to do. He's going to tell you how to cheat without getting caught. He's going to tell you how to lie without ever getting caught. He's going to teach you all the around things and saying, you can do it and not get caught. That's what he does. So they went to their father and says, you know, this poor guy, Yusuf, is always home. He's not going anywhere. Why don't you send us tomorrow with us so that he can play with us? Yaqub alayhi was a prophet. He knew their intent. He was reluctant, but they reassured him. They went out. One of the brothers says, let's not kill him. Must be a pious brother. Says, let's not kill him. Well, what shall we do then? Well, just, there's a deserted well. Why don't we just throw him in there? And then we'll kill a wolf and put his blood on his clothes and say the wolf ate it. That's exactly what they did. What made them what made them easy to be trapped by Shaitan? Jealousy. Jealousy. If you are jealous of somebody, Shaitan got you. Every time he finds out your weakness, he got you. And he's going to come to you sounding very friendly and very nice. There's so much to learn about this. I can go on and on and on. The point is, when he was able to deceive the children of even Anbiya alayhi salatu salam. Look, let's talk Ibrahim alayhi salatu salam. He was a Nabi, am I right? He was a prophet. When Allah commanded him to sacrifice his son, he commanded him to sacrifice his son. What did Shaitan do? He appeared on his way at three places in Makkah, but now we call it Jamarat. And he said, are you crazy? That was just a dream. He's your son. Are you going to kill your son because this dream? Three times. He doesn't leave anyone. Not Anbiya, not their children, not their wives. He doesn't leave anybody except Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He never succeeded with him. He will not never go to him. But his Sahaba were also his victims. Not all of them. But what we need to understand is, if he can not spare Anbiya alayhi salam and their progeny and succeed in deceiving them, how are we going to protect ourselves? Why would he not come to us? We these days are his easiest victims. And he has a whole force of human shayateen, your friends. They come to you and says, hey, everybody is doing this. I'm going to share with you this example. A 10-year-old girl, a real case. A 10-year-old girl, somewhere in the world, She was going to school, and some schools, Islamic schools, because they're small, they have mixed grades. So because there are not enough children for each grade, not enough teacher, so they mix up the grades. So this girl was with some grades of the older kids. Those kids were vaping. Islamic school, vaping. And they said, hey, try this. It really is just see the taste of it. Because they have these flavorful vapes. So just taste it. So she tested it. She liked it. Don't you like it? Yeah. She started vaping with them. So they gave her their vapes for her to try. And then she said, you guys have to get your own. He says, where am I going to get this? They taught her how to order it online, 10 years old. A real case. They taught her how to order it online. She was only caught when the thing was delivered at their house. And the parents found out about it. 2 years later now, she's now 12. She's in the school, and somebody brought a full bottle of red wine. School. Don't think school is safe. Red wine. And said, we brought you some juice today. Would you like to drink it? She says, what kind of juice is this? She says, just try it. You know why she tried it? Because she wanted to have friends. This is what's called peer pressure. If you want to be friends with us, you got to do what we are doing, or you're not our friends. She drank the whole glass. First time alcohol drinker, passed out. The teachers found her. She's thrown up and she's passed out. Called the parents and said, your daughter's drunk, come and get her. You see how Shaitan deceives people? He puts different pressures on. You guys, when you're going to school and you work, and all of us, if you're working outside in the larger public, there are people doing all kinds of things. And we all want to belong. We all want to be accepted. And this is where they get it. People, for example, working in the offices, in places, oh, it's Christmas, there's going to be Christmas parties. What do they Christmas parties? They drink. They eat all kinds of food and they drink. Well, it is the staff party, you got to go. All the staff are supposed to go. And the shaitan says to the Muslim brother, yeah, you don't have to drink, you can go. But it is even haram to sit with the people who are drinking, am I right? It is haram to even sit with the people who are drinking. But the shaitan says, it's for your job. You don't want to lose your job. You have kids, you have wife to look after. And people should not think that they cannot get along with you, that you're not a social person. So he goes. When he starts to go there, after a while, he becomes desensitized to liquor being around. And then sometimes somebody says, well, have you ever tried it? Try this one. This only has a 5% alcohol. The rest of it is juice. So it's not going to intoxicate you. You know what? The reason this is haram is because it intoxicates you. All the intoxicants are haram. But in a small dose, it doesn't make you intoxicated, so it must not be haram. Yeah, that makes sense. It does make sense. That makes sense. It's just a little bit, it's not going to make me intoxicated. If I'm not intoxicated, then it must not be haram. You see how it becomes certain? I'm going to stop here. I'm going to continue with this topic to share with you some stories from this book of Imam Ibn Jawzi and our real life, but how he goes about deceiving us. It's a very important subject. I'm sad that's not being broadcasted so more people could listen. But it's going to be, inshallah, on my YouTube channel. Brother Shoaib will be recording everyone from here on. And if you know people who would miss it, let them know that they can find it there. So, inshallah, I'll continue with this deceptions of Shaitan next week. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sallam. سبحان ربي العلي الوهاب ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكون من الخاسرين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين اللهم إنك عفو كريم رحيم تحب فاعف عنا يا كريم اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب القبر وقنا عذاب الحشر وقنا عذاب الميزان ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين اللهم توفنا مسلمين والحقنا بالصالحين غير خزايا ولا مفتونين صلى الله تعالى على خلقه محمد وآله أجمعين برحمته